It's Money Matters, an NSCC financial literacy podcast situated in Mi'kma'ki, the ancestral and unceded territory of the Mi'kmaq people. And now here's your host, Matt Curry.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Money Matters Podcast. I'm your host, Matt Curry. Am I a financial expert? Heck no. But I do know a few things, and I know people who know a few more things, and that's what this podcast is about, connecting all those pieces together. My guest today is Ryan Dominguez. Ryan is the Student Awards Coordinator at NSCC. Chances are, if you've ever emailed our awards team, he's the person behind all those responses. He's passionate about his work and he's excited to share details about our awards program with you. Ryan, welcome.
Hey, thanks, Matt. It's great to be here.
Awesome. So let's jump right in. Can you just tell me a little bit about your role at NSCC as a Student Awards Coordinator?
So, as Matt mentioned, if you have emailed us, I am definitely the person you have heard back from in your email response. But my role essentially involves setting up awards for application, reviewing applications as they come in, shortlisting applications to send to review committee. So every aspect of the award life cycle I'm involved with in a nutshell, really. So I get to see the beginning, the middle, and the end of how the award goes.
Sounds like a pretty interesting, busy job, but I bet it's also rewarding.
Very rewarding. I get to, read essays that students have poured their hearts into. And also, you get to know our student body a bit through their award applications, and you get to see struggles that some are facing, some of the challenges that they're facing right now in real time in some of their applications, which is really interesting as well.
Can you tell me a little bit about the numbers? So, like when we talk about awards at NSCC, how much funding are we distributing? How many are actually receiving awards?
So our awards program has grown significantly over the past 6 years. When I started working at NSCC in 2018, there was just shy of $1 million available in awards, scholarships, and bursaries. 6 years later, today in essentially 2025, for the 2025-2026 academic year, there's over 5 million available in awards, scholarships, and bursaries. We are consistently seeing more and more students apply for awards given the growing number of awards available.
Cool. So, what are some common things that you're seeing with applications that are selected for awards? So, if I were a really keen student and I want my application to stand out, what are some things that you can share?
My number one is we want to know who you are through your awards essays. Like, tell us what you want us to hear, not what you think we want to hear. Some of our essay questions are a little loaded. Like, for instance, on the general application, we have the career aspirations essay. It's one essay question, but there's 4 questions within it. Answer all of those questions in full, but make it personal as well. Build your story in there, where you are currently in your life, where you came from, where do you want to go? Like, tell us who you are amidst your essay responses. That's the biggest tip I can tell you, because our selection committees really, really, really like to see who the student is. We don't want it to be clinical. We really want to see who you are in your essays. And that goes a long way. Another one, sometimes students will write a sentence or two, and that is it for their essay response. That sentence or two may kind of maybe answer the question, but in the most base terms. Like, you need to put a bit of effort into your essay writing. So essentially, a great way to do that is by, you have your opening paragraph where you introduce yourself. Then you have your body paragraphs. You could have 1, 2, or 3, where you talk about the different points that are included in the essay question. And then you have a conclusion where you would, not introduce any new information, but kind of drive home the point home of why you want this award, why you're the perfect candidate for the award, and that you meet the criteria of the question being asked. We have a great resource here at NSCC, and that is our writing centers. You can find information about our writing centers on Connect or on the NSCC website.
Right, and I think our student awards portal is also set up so that students can go in and kind of work on their responses and come back and work and add to them later, is it not?
Yeah, that's very true. Definitely hit save. Always make sure that you save your work as you go there, because if you have that window open for a few hours and you come back and forth to it and haven't been saving, it could time out on you. And the last thing you want is your hard work to go to waste. So either save as you go along, or even better, have the portal open on the side with the essay question there. Open up a Word document or a Pages document and type it in there, your response, and then just copy and paste it into the portal afterwards. I think that's a really good tip, because we have experienced issues where students and even some of our references have had a page open too long, haven't saved it, and the information does go missing. And I think that's true of any kind of online portal.
Great tip. And now I know you and I have been chatting a little bit about Chat GBT, and we're starting to see some essays come through that we can identify as coming from that service. So, what are some tips that, or a tip that you can provide around the use of that service?
This is super timely, Matt, because as you mentioned, we have seen an increase in essays that have been created by ChatGPT. My biggest piece of advice, if you're going to use it as just a very base shell and then build your personal story in there. Make sure that you're not directly plagiarizing, because what ChatGPT does, it calls information from websites and other online platforms and does not provide any citations. So if you are going to use it as a base shell and then build out your essay around it. But at the end of the day, we want to see an emphasis on your personal story. We don't want to read an essay that is just very clinical and telling us what you think we want to hear rather than what you want us to hear. We want to know about you.
Right. So you're saying it could be a good kind of base point, something to build off of in order to stand out to our review committees. That's great. Ryan, are there any misconceptions or myths that are out there about awards that you'd like to clear up?
Oh, we have a few that are out there that we hear frequently. The first is that many awards go unawarded. This isn't true. We only have a small group of awards with very, very strict eligibility criteria that may go unawarded in a given year. Another one that we hear is that everyone who applies for an award gets an award. No. We wish we had an award for everybody. We'd love to help everybody out in a perfect world, but unfortunately, we are limited with what funds that we have. So not everybody who applies gets an award. Another one I've heard lately is that, like if I complete my general application, is that all I need to do? Like, will I be considered for every award? And the answer is no. It'll put you in the running for awards that have like community involvement or your career aspirations as an eligibility criteria, but you need to complete the financial need application to be considered for any awards of financial need, and there are a ton of recommended opportunities that require other application elements in order to apply for them. So completing the general application is great, but it's not enough if you want to maximize your chances. Another one is around community involvement. So on the general application, we have a community involvement essay, and we have heard from a number of students who get a little hung up on this, who believe that, their community involvement is it just volunteerism? Do I have to like donate like 80 hours every month to help out a cause? And the answer is no. Like your community involvement could be volunteerism, but it could also be, you play sports and then you help coach younger children in sports. It could be events that you do at your local church or synagogue. It could be air cadets. It could be helping out with a parade. There are so many things that are considered community involvement that people don't even realize. It's not strictly limited to volunteerism.
That's a really great tip. Thanks for sharing that. Ryan, can we pull back the curtain a little bit on the selection process? So if I'm a student and I apply for an award, what happens to my application about after that?
Fantastic question. So we receive a high number of applications for many of our awards. So what our team does is that we shortlist those awards, and that is by looking at the eligibility criteria set forth by the donor for the award and against what the student has provided in their application. And then we send those shortlisted applications to selection committees. And our selection committees are made up of NSCC employees and alumni. So the review period is essentially could be anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks. Our selection committees go forward and review all of the applications for awards that they're assigned. And all the awards that go to selection committees, they are awards that have, essays, references, and in many cases too, financial need as well. But if you apply for an award that has an essay, it's going to go to a selection committee. Once reviews are complete, recipients are selected by the highest score given by the selection committee reviewers.
Awesome. And can you just talk to me a little bit about if I'm a student and I'm sharing my information, how do I know that the process is unbiased? Like what's being shared about me?
That's a great question, Matt. So on the general application, you can complete a student profile. When an award goes to a selection committee, it's anonymous. So none of your student profile information goes there except your career aspirations essay or your community involvement essay if they are part of that award application. They're completely anonymous. The selection committee reviewer team will not know who you are.
Awesome. And Ryan, that was a lot of great information. Really appreciate you taking the time to share that with us. That does bring us to the end of the episode. Thank you for listening to Money Matters with Matt. I hope you learned something new. If you've got an idea for a topic for a future episode, drop us an email at awards@nscc.ca. You can also send us a question there and we will answer it in a future episode. Any resources or links that we discussed during this episode are available in the show notes. Thanks. Goodbye.
Thank you for listening to Money Matters, an NSCC financial literacy podcast. Make sure to subscribe to NSCC's YouTube channel so you don't miss an episode. Until next time.